Broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good evening, everyone. I want to welcome you to the very first Psychic Hour of 2022. Folks, I am so excited to begin this new year with you tonight. So welcome everyone. If you're new to my Psychic Hour, let me just give you a couple of quick rules for the hour, if you will. Um, Not everyone who comes on is going to get a reading because I do pretty in-depth readings here. So if you want to get a reading, first of all, make sure that you raise your hand so that Lisa, who is in the chat room, will know that you want to get one, and she'll be the person who's actually picking. She's also in the chat room, so if you're shy and you don't want to raise the hand, you can also ask your question in the chat room. Many times Lisa can answer that herself if it's generic. Otherwise, if she sees a lot of people asking a similar question, she'll call on that person. She'll read it out herself so you don't have to speak it out. Anyone who raises their hand, though, when Lisa picks you, you're going to get unmuted so you can actually ask your question to me. Now, when you get a chance to ask your question, here's what I want to know. I want some information from you. First, I'm going to ask your first name only. Second, where you're calling from, because we do get people from all over the world, and it's always fun to know where you're calling in from. Also, what your sun sign is. Armed with your sun sign, I can look at this, what we call a horary chart. It's a chart that's just for tonight, and it will have every single person who's here with me tonight. It'll have something to say about you. So armed with your sun sign, I can find you here and I can give you information along with all the other people who are your sun sign or are the same energy pattern. And we'll talk about that as we get more into the session this evening. So your sun sign, your name, where you're from, your sun sign, also what you're most grateful for in your life right now. And then we'll jump into the reading. So those are the pieces of information I need from you. Name, where you're from, what you're most grateful for, and your sun sign. So you raise your hand, and when you get called on, those are the things that I'm going to be asking you to give me. Now, anyone who stays on the call all the way through to the end this evening, even if you don't get an actual reading from me, I give those people who didn't get the reading, I give the opportunity to ask me a simple question via email. And you can do that by answering the email that you got onto this call through, or by sending it through to lisasainc@aol.com. That's Lisa's email, and she'll forward it to me. As long as I get your email by tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, I will be glad to answer that question. Give me a week or 2 weeks to get back to you on it because I do get an awful lot of questions. And I will be glad to answer that question. So everybody here this evening, provided you stay until the end, is going to get an answer to that question, whether you have the chance to ask directly or whether you do it through email. Now, one more thing before we jump into a little bit of housekeeping here is that even if I'm not directly answering your question on this call, those people who've been here many times before, and I'm looking at the names as I talk, so I recognize so many of you, so you know how I work. My guides have a way of knowing who you are no matter where you are. And even though I might be answering one person's question, my guides are going to be including your question in their answer. So even though I'm not calling on you, please be sure to pay attention because by the time we get to the end of the hour, I probably have already answered your primary concern, and I'm still going to give you a chance to ask your one question. So, okay, here's my housekeeping. First of all, if you have not yet gone to my website, www.sandyanastasia.com, please do that. I've got so many classes. My newsletter is there. You can read it right online. I've got a VIP that is absolutely amazing. It's got classes that every class I've ever taught is in there. And so please visit my website. And also, if you're going to be here every month, download the app because you can actually watch this right on your smartphone with the app. And you can also download the GoToMeeting app and watch it right on that app as well. Please also post your questions during the month in my community. Let me just jump over for a moment. I want to show you that because a lot of you don't even know that this exists, and it's really very important. Oops, let me see if I can't find it here. Okay, here's my community. When you go to my website, here's the website, okay, and you see where it says library. As long as you're signed up for my newsletter, and I know most of you are, you're automatically going to have my open community in your library. So all you have to do is, once you sign up for my newsletter, go to where it says My Library and click on it, and you're going to see, wow, open community. And as you can see, somebody, Melinda Talbert, had said it's the coaching or psychic hour tonight. That was a couple of days ago. And right away, Lisa emailed her right here and told her what's going on. And if you scroll down, you see that I also got back to her, and so did a couple of other people in the open forum. As a matter of fact, I want to show you this because this is a lot of fun. There are a couple of people. Dominique is posting about her dog and experience she had. And Stacy is posting that she's doing free tarot readings because she's practicing. So you could get a free tarot reading with her. So this is a great place if you, during the month, want to participate and do some psychic stuff. The open community is here. This is private. You cannot get in this community unless you've signed up for my newsletter. And both Lisa and I see it. So you're not going to ever get any nasty, mean people on here. You're just going to get people you can talk to and have some fun with. Also, when you're right here on my homepage, you can look at merchandise. I have a lot of my books for sale here and also recommended books. So I've got some really good recommendations. And look at this, where it says free. When you type on free, all of these things are free downloads, okay? And when you click on this, go to the downloads, you're going to have to put your name and your email in again, and then click for the free downloads. And all of these things are available to you for free, absolutely free. So I wanted to show that to you because a whole lot of people aren't even aware that I have all these things available. So now you know. So when I say post in our forum, okay, now you know where to find it, okay? I also want to make mention, my good friend, Sharon Lynn Wyeth, her Luminescence show, Luminescence Common Sense Spirituality, it's being moved to www.bbsradio.com. It's still at 3 p.m. It's still a great, great show, same show. And it's every Thursday she has her show at 3 p.m. I'm on with her every other month. My next show with her is going to be March 10th. And I have here both the website through her BBS and also the direct call-in line. So write that down if you want to do call-ins on Sharon's show, whether I'm there or not. She has it every Thursday. And when I'm there, it will be March 10th next time. And I just wanted to also make mention that, I don't know what my next show is on. I'm sorry, I don't remember. We've got them planned out. Sharon can tell you. She's got that listed on her website. And please know that my shows with her are all archived both on my website and her website, as well as on BBS. So you're going to be able to see those archives, listen to them actually, if you should want to do that. The next Psychic Hour, please write it down, February 27th. Make sure you don't miss it. They're going to get better and better as the year goes on. VIPs. Now, you'll know on my website I have a VIP, an entire program, which is the program I mentioned before that has all of my classes in it for the last 40 years, all of my recorded audio classes. The next coaching call for VIPs is February 17th. So if you are a VIP, please put that down in your calendar. Now, I'm going backwards. Folks, if you missed my webinars that I did in December, they're $25. You're still able to get them. Intro to Spirit Communication, so an hour-long introduction. I'm Not Psychic, or Am I? Again, an hour-long introduction to the whole psychic world. Whether you're taking my class with me that just started or not, these are great classes, okay? And of course, what's happening in 2022, and that'll be on my site for sale all year. It's very pertinent, obviously, because it's what's going on in our world right now and what's going on in your life right now. Um, my year at a glance readings have shut down. I'm full on them, so you're not going to be able to get that any longer. But if you want to book a what's coming over the next 3 months or over the next 6 months reading with me, you can do that. Lisa will schedule those for you. I also want to mention that even though my psychic development program just started, and we have a full house, we have a good sized group, it's perfect size really, but I do have a few openings I could still fill. If there's somebody here who really, really wants to be part of that, please contact Lisa. Again, Lisa SA Inc. at AOL.com, and she'll tell you the nitty gritty and how to become a part of that class. It just started, only one session's passed, and I'd say for about the next 2 weeks, you could probably still get into it and have no trouble catching up. After that, it's going to be a little bit of a problem to try to catch up. Again, just 1 or 2 openings left, so if that's something that appeals, time to get off the fence and just get into it. I have 2 specials this month. These are reading specials, both of them. This one, the first one, relationship reading with me and my guides, that's in person, online. I read via Skype. I also read via GoToMeeting so we can see and talk just like this. And the second one is a computerized relationship chart and report that gets sent to you as a PDF following your order, and that's only $29.95. If you want the computerized chart, that goes through Lisa. So that's Lisa SA Inc. at AOL.com, and she'll get that ball rolling for you. If you want the reading with me, that is a reading special, and it is on my website right now, so you can order that directly. And folks, if you really want to get down deep into your relationship and really know how you can make the absolute best of it, this isn't just me, folks. This is my guides telling you what you need to know about your relationship. And so you get channeled information as well as the 2 astrology charts, because my guides are astrologers. It's a whole synastry reading. It's fabulous. So if that's something you want to give to you and your loved one this Valentine's Day as a very special gift, you couldn't ask for something better. That I promise you. Okay, Lisa, let's jump into our work for this evening. Who is going to be our first person to get a reading tonight?
Not just tonight. She's the first person to get a reading in 2022.
Oh my goodness, yes.
So that's pretty special. And Becky,
Wonderful.
you're the lucky person.
Hello, Becky.
Hi. Thank you so much for taking my call, and super excited about this upcoming year.
Me too.
So my name is Becky. I am a Libra. I live in Texas, and I am most thankful that my life is starting to calm down some. I know that sounds kind of strange, but I'm really thankful for the peace and calm that's entering my life. So my question tonight is actually, I'd like some info on love and relationships in this year for me.
And that's going to show up just anyway. Okay. Becky, let me show you what's going on as a Libra. And folks, if you are a Libra or an Aries, another cardinal sign, or a Capricorn or a Cancer, all of this information I'm about to give Becky is going to pertain to you. Okay. First off, Becky, I know your question is about relationships. Of course, you're a Libra. All of your life, almost every question is about relationships. Welcome to the world of Libra. But there are 30 degrees in a sign. Half of the sign is in the first house, and this is the relationship axis. Okay. So it's almost like half of the month you are going to be working on healing. There's Chiron over here in Aries. Relationships. You've had some rude, very, very rude wake-up calls, haven't you, in the last few years? Neptune is over here in the 7th house in this chart, opposing this first house that is where you're learning about relationships. And so you've had some rude, nasty little wake-up calls, not just about love relationships, but about all of the relationships in your life. People just turned out to be different than you thought they were. And that probably is regarding almost everybody you know. Okay, so you've kind of had your eyes opened. Now, the second and the first half of the month, I've got to tell you, since this is dividing the sign almost equally in half, the first half of the month, you're still going to be dealing with some of those relationship surprises. You're going to be stepping back into some relationships that need healing. You're going to be helping a past relationship partner to heal. Isn't that interesting? Somebody you're probably just still friends with or still knowing. And whether that's a love relationship or a best friend, I can't begin to tell you. But it's somebody you've been in a relationship in the past with that your knowledge and your experience is going to help them to heal and get past whatever their issues are. And you know, it's interesting when we reach out to help another person, inevitably we receive healing ourselves. So there's healing in that for you too. And the second half of the month, see, we go into this second house, and the second house, eighth house in astrology, always has to do with money. And since this is the Libra side, this house here, the second house, it says that you're going to be really looking at your own, how you earn your living, where you get your money from. If you share expenses with someone else, you're going to be looking at how you set up your budget, whether you really want to keep doing things the same way. You're going to be looking at relationships, see Libra's on the cusp here, from the point of view of money. Okay, how do I develop partnerships? How do I develop partnerships with money? How do I handle money in conjunction with another person? Where do I set boundaries with money and stuff? Am I making some sense to you yet? Okay. And as we move to the very tail end of the month, guess what? It's going to be opposing Uranus, which says that you're going to be doing some really big flips regarding relationships. You may be interested in or involved with somebody who's completely and totally different than anyone you ever saw yourself with, and yet it's going to feel like a fresh start. It's going to feel different and unique. Now, one little thing that's not so great about this, because you Libras always want to know that the next person in your life is there forever, okay? This planet up here, this little guy Uranus, ensures that unless there is something really solid, like a kid or a marriage certificate or buying a house together or owning a business together, the relationships that you start in the near future are not going to last longer than 2 years. So they have a 2-year shelf life. Now, that doesn't mean they can't last longer if you decide to make some kind of a commitment, like I said before. But without the commitment, they start suddenly, they're wonderful. They are just the happiest, most fun relationships. And when they end 2 years later, they end suddenly. Both of you are friends. There's no hard feelings. It was a great time. You're glad you had it. So great relationships, but not necessarily long-lasting relationships. And that's important to note, too. If you're trying to start a business with somebody, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, you really need to look carefully at that individual. And if you're sure they're the right person to work with, you want to have some contracts, because you know that 2 years later, they're probably going to want to go their own way. Okay. That should be a little bit of a help. Now, let's ask this, and that's going to talk a whole lot about, like I said, Libras, Aries, Capricorns, and Cancers, all having the same energies. Now, we also have a T-square happening here, okay? T-square that comes out into the empty house. This is the energy coming out into the 11th house, which talks about pretty much what I just said, changes, big changes in the friends, the groups, the organizations that you belong to. And if you do end up in a romantic relationship as we move into this year, it's likely to be someone you are friends with before you become romantically involved. Isn't that nice? Okay. Okay. So what would you like to know specifically about those romantic relationships we were just talking about?
My question was, like you said, I'm a Libra, and I want to know that the next one is it. And so I was looking for the specific one that's going to last. You know, I'm at a transition period, so I can't really have kids much longer. So I was just kind of wondering in that aspect.
Yeah, you're looking at the one that's going to be the one. He is the soulmate. You're going to have a marriage that lasts forever. And, oh dear, you're going to hate me for this, Becky. My guides are not going to give you that promise. They're just not going to give it to you. Can I ask,
Okay.
this is personal, but can I ask how long it is that since you've been out of a relationship, a full-time committed relationship?
About a year and a half, and like you alluded to in the very beginning, it was horrific, very traumatizing.
Okay, and this is the reason why my guides are telling you, number one, they're not going to let you know here's one of the problems, folks. Listen in. If I were to tell Becky, this guy's going to come along, he's got blonde hair, he's 6'2", he's wearing moccasins when you meet him, and you're going to meet him in an airport, he's at the bottom of an elevator. Wouldn't you love to have that information? But the problem is that you would spend the rest of your life waiting for that person to show up. And you would pass up the guy in the sports car who had $1 million, who loved you more than anything, but you're waiting for that guy who's the blonde 6'2" guy who's never coming because I wasn't right that night. Okay. My guides are not, because you're that person. Some people, no, they take that reading with a grain of salt. Maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't. But you, Becky, are that person that if my guides told you that's who it is, you would never look at another man as long as you lived unless that one showed up. They are not going to do that. They're too nice. They will not do that. Please understand, you're not going to get that information from a reputable psychic, and I am one. Okay?
Fair enough.
They're also telling you, and this really is very important, unlikely for that stable relationship to come into your life for 2 years. Now, I'm also getting this. They're showing me a 3 of Cups. Now, this is a marriage card, but it's upside down. They're saying no marriage until you have been out of that committed relationship that was horrific for, look at the number, 3 years. Now, they're not saying you will be in a marriage 3 years from now. They're saying there's not a chance until 3 years. And now, can you make a liar out of them and go out and find somebody tomorrow and get married? Oh, absolutely, you could do that. But what they're telling me, and they're telling you, is that if you want a really healthy relationship, you want the relationship of your dreams, it's going to be 3 years from that other relationship breaking up. Now, let me explain so that everybody can understand why this is so important for you. Becky was in a relationship that destroyed her. You hearing me, folks? Sorry, Becky. I know this is mean for me to do this, but people need to see this because you're a really good example, and you were brave enough to say, I'll be the first one of the year. That relationship destroyed her. Now, who knows if the man was an alcoholic? Who knows if the man was a con artist, if he stole her money, if he was a bad, bad, bad person? The thing is that Becky had Neptune opposing her sun at that time based on this chart. Okay, this is a throwaway chart. Remember, it's telling you information. Okay, now he took her rose-colored glasses off. His job in her life was to blow up all of her misconceptions about relationships and men. Isn't that what he did, Becky?
Absolutely, you did.
So it wasn't about him. And he could have been the world's most wonderful, sweet, happy man. But you had the experience that destroyed your misconceptions about relationships. And the thing is, as long as you were stuck in those misconceptions, you were not going to be able to have the happy relationship of your dream. Those misconceptions had to be exploded. And now what the universe is doing, God, if you will, your higher self, is they're going to bring you a series of men, a series of relationships that are going to help you to rebuild your sense of self. They're going to help you to test your new sense of values. Those relationships that are going to come in, they're going to give you a chance to explore, well, what could I really have if I wasn't looking for that old outworn model that doesn't work in my life? I.e., I don't know how old you are. You might be 30, you might be 40, but you have to pretend you're 16 again. And you've got to be able to explore and find what really works now that you're not wearing rose-colored glasses that bring in an imaginary person. You can have a relationship with that man. You had a relationship with your imagination. Do you see it? Now you have to find out what it is to have a relationship with a real person. And you've got to explore them. Well, I like this trait. I don't like that trait. I like this. I'm going to demand that. I'm going to set this responsibility. I'm going to handle my money with this person in this way. Now, you're not ready to do that yet. You haven't explored enough. Just like as if you were 16. Mom and dad are going to say, You need to wait until you're at least 19 before you get married because we want you to know what you're doing. Is this making sense?
Yes, it is.
And that's what your guides are doing. That's what your guides are doing. Your guides are going to make sure that when you're ready to meet the right person, when you're ready to make a permanent relationship with somebody, that you're going to have the right one because you're going to know and you're going to understand and you're going to be whole and you're going to be healed and healthy and bright. And you're not looking to be saved and you don't need his money. And guess what? You're going to be in exactly the right place to be able to make the best life you've ever had. Wow.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
You don't know how much I appreciate you.
You're welcome. And hey, as much as I appreciate you, thank you so much for being here. Yeah. And good luck to you. And have fun for the next couple of years. Have fun. You know, the kids are getting ready to leave the roost. And because you're a Libra, oh my God, I'm going to be alone. And 3 years from now, you're going to be saying, or 2 years from now, you're going to be saying, oh my God, that time alone was so great. I'm really not sure I'm ready to give it up.
Okay, deal.
Okay. Good night. Thank you so
Good night.
much. That was a great, great question. Good way to start the year. And remember, this year is a 2, 2, 2. It's about relationships this year. 2 is always about relationships. And because there's a 22, it's about raising those relationships to a higher level, and that becomes a 4, and building something with them. 4s are about building, and building something that can be shared with other people, because that 22 that's hidden in here is a higher vibration than just the 2. And then we add the third 2, and this becomes an angel number. That's what they call it these days. 2 plus 2 plus 2 is 6. That becomes sacrificing sometimes your dreams, sometimes yourself, for your higher principles, your insights, your understandings, and then attaining so much more and building not just a relationship with yourself and your partner, but a relationship with your family, and then a relationship with the world family. Folks, look at the world around us. We're starting to see that right now. Wow. 2022 is going to be one heck of a year. Okay, Lisa, who's next?
All right, the second person tonight is going to be Melinda. Melinda, can you unmute yourself?
Melinda. Melinda, you're getting called on.
You need to unmute.
Okay, she might have stepped away, Lisa. I don't feel her there. You
Okay.
need to go to
We'll come back to her if we have time.
that bathroom cold. What can I say?
We're going to go up to Alice and see if Alice is here.
Hello, I am here.
Hello, Alice. Good to talk to
How are
you.
you? Yes, you too. Oh my gosh. So let's see. I am Alice. I am calling from Colorado, and I'm a Cancer. And I am most grateful for, I was trying to figure out how to say this. Your mind, like raising your vibe to better your situation, actually working.
Yes. Oh,
That's what I'm grateful for.
Alice, you just opened a real interesting topic. I don't know if all of our callers understand this. I keep, in all of my videos and all of my webinars, I keep talking about our world going through an evolution. I've been doing this for years. We're moving to a new level. Well,
Yes.
this kind of caught on, and what they're calling it, they're saying we're moving from 3D to 5D. We're passing through 4D and moving towards a 5D level of awareness. That we're talking about fifth dimensional stuff, folks. And you're seeing, you're feeling, you're getting more clarity on things. It's really great. Yes, we're all evolving. Yes, it's working. Thank you.
It is definitely working. Thank you.
Ask you to mute your mic for a moment, and when I come up for breath, I'll ask you your specific question. Okay, then we won't get the squeakies. Okay, I talked before because Alice, as a Cancer, is another cardinal sign. So everything I just said to Becky is pertinent to Alice as well. But because she's a Cancer, she is in this spot where all of the energy from that T-square of the cardinal signs is pushing. So it wouldn't surprise me at all if Alice has got 5 times because remember this splits between the 10th house of work and career and the 11th house of friends and love being given. Okay. So here she is splitting her time back and forth between friends that she loves to be with, but are really taking a tremendous amount of time and energy from her right now, and her work and career, which might be going like gangbusters, should be as a matter of fact, but is basically killing her because they're expecting more and more and more and more and giving her less, or maybe not less, but not what she's worked, certainly. The opposition feeds across the chart all this Capricorn energy, Mars, Venus, Mercury, Moon, Pluto. There are power plays. She's being stuck between either her kids or a friend and a lover, or 2 people at work who think they're using her as a tennis ball. She's got family obligations up the kazoo. She's got somebody in the family, could be a brother, could be a sister, could be both, could be a husband, who are wanting and needing more and more and more and more. And it can be a whole lot, can't it? Alice, talk to me.
That is unbelievably spot on. I have been bouncing around a lot between my obligations with my kids, wanting to spend time with, I have a couple different groups of friends that I really love spending time with. But my question that I was bringing tonight was more about work, because I feel like they're tightening the purse strings, but giving me more. They said that they gave me a larger book of business, but they believe that I can handle it, but it doesn't seem to be coming with much of a raise. And so I'm questioning if I stay, or if I've always kind of I've always really wanted to have a bakery or something like that. And I've never really known how to start a business. And I keep thinking, should I take the leap, or do I hang out? Because I am kind of happy at work. It's just the money part, I'm just kind of back and forth in my head.
Yeah, and Alice, it's more than the money part. What's happened here, and first of all, you have a Gemini on the house of career up here, okay? And that talks about the person who can do 2 things at the same time, okay? So you could very well be working for this business and be starting your bakery in your home-based bakery business. You just have to look into how to do it and make it legal. It's doable. The thing is that while they're adding all the extra work on, that makes doing the home-based business not possible. Do you see that?
Yeah.
But you just put in the back of your mind, for you to have a 9-to-5 job, but then spend the weekends doing your bakery business and either deliver or bring it to different restaurants to serve, whatever, you would be able to do that, but not if the 9-to-5 job is overtaxing. You see?
Yeah.
My guides are basically telling me that you're in a position where you can't just quit the 9-to-5, because that money is part of your support system.
Exactly.
And this is the reason why you keep you keep thinking, I should start my home-based business. I'm really good at this. This is what I really want to do. And yes, you have the capacity to start your baking business and make it successful and love it and enjoy it. You have the potential, but you've either got to get a business loan to be able to start that, which is kind of a hard thing to do. They're not giving them out, okay?
Yeah.
Or you've got to be able to continue the support and start it small. And so my guides gave you a hint. You can do the baking at night, you can do it on the weekends, and you can sell it through local restaurants, or you can do drop-offs with people in the neighborhood, advertise it online. There's all kinds of
Yeah.
but you've got to keep that 9-to-5. So the question really amounts to, are you going to be able to stay at this place and still do your home-based business? And my guides are saying no.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it has to do not with the money, it has to do with the workload.
Okay.
Okay. Now, would you be happier? This is a question you didn't ask, but I'm going to ask it for you. Would you be happier staying and just doing the job you're doing that you know you can do and forgetting the home-based business? My guides are saying there's a son, you would definitely be happy doing that. You like the job enough to do that. Would you also be happy if you went someplace else that maybe you didn't enjoy the job quite as much, but you'd be able to start your home-based business? Would that make you happy? My guide is showing me an inverted moon. No, it wouldn't. You would be unhappy about that. So
Okay.
perhaps a solution is to, stay working where you are, but talk to them about if you're going to be working all these extra hours and doing all this extra work, where's the extra money going to come in?
Okay.
Take the boxing gloves off and say, I understand you want to see if I can do this, but I'd like you to review this in 3 months or in 1 month, and I would like to have a raise if I'm doing this work. Otherwise, I'd go back to what I was doing before, which I was doing very well and earning about the same amount of money. Okay, that conversation should happen. And if they do give you the raise, take the money that you get raised, and instead of spending it, put it into a kitty to save so that you will in the future be able to start your home-based business where you're not having to split yourself between two things.
Okay. I like it.
Yeah. Good luck. My guides are pretty good with this stuff. Good luck to you.
Yeah, they are. They've helped me before. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Lisa, and who's next?
Well, we're going to try Melinda again because she thinks she has the problem figured out.
Awesome.
Okay, Melinda, can you unmute yourself?
Yes. Hi. How are you?
You definitely got it. Yes. Hi, Melinda. Good to talk to you.
Hi. Thank you so much, and thank you, Lisa. I appreciate it. I had my earpiece in, and for some reason, it doesn't give me the little icon to unmute. So I don't know how I figured that out. By the grace of God, I'd say.
Nice help.
So my name is Melinda. I'm from Ohio, and my sun sign is Virgo, and I'm kind of I got out of a relationship last year. I closed 2 businesses. It was kind of the craziest year ever. And I've been fighting through probably the worst depression that I've ever really felt in my life. And I'm trying to really make great choices to create this crazy, beautiful life because I'm trying to develop my mediumship skills. And I'm just wondering, should I feel like I should be focusing on mediumship, psychic, or healing, or tarot. I'm not really sure exactly where I should hone in on. And
okay, I'm gonna be very honest with you. Okay, I'm gonna get the whole ball of wax, and I'll be as fast as I can.
Okay.
It's a mutable sign. Okay, so if you are a Virgo like Melinda, or a Pisces, or a Gemini, or a Sagittarius, what I'm about to tell her is going to affect you. Okay, now. First of all, Melinda, realize that here you are, the Virgo. A whole lot of the things that I just got done saying about to Becky about her relationship applied to you, didn't they? A whole lot of them. And that's because here you are as the Virgo, and again, half your sign is in the 12th house, which is the subconscious hiding. You've been hiding all of this emotional stuff. It took you a lot of courage. That's probably why. You're going to laugh. Why couldn't you talk when you first came on? Because you've been hiding. You haven't been talking. And your guides had to force you to find this because you really needed to have this question answered. So you're being forced into bringing yourself out into the light. I love it. But there's an embarrassment that goes with the way that you felt duped. Sorry about that. But you've got the same issue that happened with the relationships where you had these revelations, one on top of another, on top of another, on top of another, on top of another. And by the time you were done, you felt like you were stripped naked with nothing left because everything that you believed in had been stolen from you. Okay? Well, the bad part about this is important. The bad part of that is that you found out that the world that you were living in isn't what you thought you were living in. It affected you that deeply. The good,
That's so true.
yeah, the good part of it is that when you allow yourself to see the truth, folks, this applies to everybody here tonight. When you allow yourself to face the fact that you were wrong, that you made a mistake, that you got duped, that you were, call it whatever you want to call it. It hurts like hell. But what happens when you allowed yourself to be stripped down to the bare bones? Nothing left except the truth. Wow. Do you realize how powerful and personally empowering the truth is? Do you realize that you cannot be lied to ever again? Has that occurred to you?
There's been a lot of things occurring to me, but yes, it's, yeah, I do. I feel like it's almost like the rug was pulled out from underneath me. It truly has been, but in a beautiful way. You know, I feel hopeful. I feel a lot of hope. I just feel really confused and discombobulated.
Nope, they're confused and discombobulated. You know what that's really from? That's because the old lies that you were telling yourself don't work. You cannot go back into an unreal world. You're a Virgo. You learn. Once you learn, girl, you really learn. Okay, that's one thing about Virgos. Virgos do tend to see the world in black and white. Because of that, it's sometimes hard for you to realize that what you thought was black is really white, what you thought was white is really black. But once you get it, man, you got it forever. Okay? So the reason for the confusion is that, you know, your cellular memory, if you want to call it that, the patterns in your life, the way mommy and daddy told you it was always supposed to be, those things keep trying to grab you. And your Virgo self says, oh, no. I know the truth. Okay? You see what I'm saying? So the confusion is temporary. And as you gradually move into your truth, and I'm not saying my truth, notice I said your truth. As you gradually move into what is true for you, there's not going to be anyone in the world who's going to tell you lies again. And again, truth, this is going to sound mean, folks, but truth is subjective. It's your truth. It's the way you see the world. It's what works for you. Okay? And as you gradually rebuild that life, you're not going to have people coming into your life who are going to be pulling the wool over your eyes, because you're going to see through them the instant they walk in the door. Doesn't that give you a sense of confidence?
Yes, that's incredible.
Yeah, and it's already happening. You're going to know if something you hear on the news is true. You're going to know if something a friend tells you is true. Now it goes beyond that. You're going to know if something somebody promises you is really going to happen. In your mediumship, you're going to know that you've connected with the real thing. You're also going to know if it's not real. When somebody walks in the door, you're going to know if they really need that reading. You're going to know if you can really help them. Wow. Do you realize that once you allow yourself to take all the veneers off, you've allowed yourself to be stripped of all of the fake stuff. You got it? The truth is real. The truth is real. You're going to be far better as a reader. You're going to be far better as a friend. You're going to be far better as a mother, as a lover, as a wife, at work. Everything in your life is going to be enlivened, enriched, because you are now living in the truth. It's that important. That important. See, anything that we allow to be fake and false in our lives is a blind spot. And all of our blind spots are waiting there to jump out and get us when we're not ready for them. They're going to pull us down. You don't have blind spots anymore, girl. They've been erased. This is amazing. Okay?
Yeah.
And remember, folks, if you're a Virgo, a Pisces, a Gemini, a Sag, what I've just said applies to you. all of us mutable signs have been in, we've been in the dryer clunk, 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 for about, 5 or 6 years. It's been a while. Okay. And somebody finally turned it off and spat us out. And here we sit saying, wow, my head is spinning, but I think I know what's real now. Now you get to go and find it and build it and trust yourself. You're building self-trust right now. You lost it because you were lied to. Now you can rebuild it because you learned to trust yourself, trust that inner voice. Now, you mentioned about mediumship. Neptune is directly opposing you. Mediumship is a really good direction for you to go. Okay? Now, that said, you mentioned healing, and half of your month, half of your sign is about healing. And Jupiter is in the sign of Pisces, opposing your sun sign, okay? Says you really find a whole lot of satisfaction and love in healing. So my guides would love to see you combining your energy work, your healing work, with your psychic and mediumship work. So maybe it doesn't have to be a one or the other. Maybe it needs to be something you pull all of the above in, and it can all be pulled in through your healing work.
Wow. Okay. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And I don't know what it is you're doing for a living right now. My guides are saying that this is compatible with whatever it is you're doing.
This is what I want to do. I'm not doing anything. I'm disabled. And so I'm just trying to figure it out.
It's interesting. If you don't mind my asking, what is your disability?
I have rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, and fibromyalgia. I think the rheumatoid is what did it.
And so you are on a healing journey. You see that?
Yeah.
You are on is actually a journey to self-healing. And so much of what you've discovered over the years, because you're a researcher, okay, you don't just take it on the surface, you look at the reasons why. And so much of what you've discovered about your own issues is that a lot of them are coming out of the subconscious or stimulated by it, or can be made better by work you do with the subconscious. Yes? Okay? And
Yeah.
it can be done through past life healing, through soul healing, through physical hands-on healing, and you've explored all kinds of modalities on your own. Well, it's time to start taking that information you've learned that's helped you and giving it out to other people and utilizing all the skills that you have to do it.
Okay. Perfect. Well, thank you.
I hope you all heard me on that one, folks. If you're looking to know what is my next step, what's the thing I should be doing with my life, look at what you are doing with your life and really look at it. I mean, Melinda almost missed the fact that what she does with her life is she constantly heals herself of rheumatoid arthritis and all these other conditions she's dealing with. She constantly, every single day, she gets up out of bed and she finds another way to heal this latest thing she's dealing with. And every time she succeeds, she finds a new technique, she finds a new tool, she puts that into her arsenal. Melinda, look at what you have to offer the world. Folks, we all do that. Look at your life. Your life should tell you what you have to offer to everyone else. Start offering it. Give it out. And build your business out of that. And you can be very, very successful. There's a lot of people who can benefit from what you know. You know things about diet, you know things about dreams, you know things about bringing past life illnesses into life with you. You understand about how you can pick things up from people through empathy. Think about what you know. Oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You've got it.
It's the confidence. Yeah. I think that's it. Yeah. It's just, I forget that I know that. And sometimes I question myself and I feel like I have to start from the beginning over and over and over again.
Yeah. Well, and isn't that what you do every day? Every single day, you assess, okay, what does this body need today? Yeah. This is what you need to build on, and it will work. And yes, whether you're working with mediumship, whether you're developing clients as a psychic, I can guarantee you're going to be bringing into your life, because we attract what we are, people who have arthritis, people who have all the conditions that you have in one way or another, and you are going to be helping them to discover means of healing themselves. We attract who we are.
Wow.
Yep. So this should help you when you're building your business and you want to attract clients. These are the people you should be working with. They're the people you will be attracting. So that's how you should market yourself. Okay. Good luck.
Okay. Thank you so much. This is a blessing. Thank you. Thank you both.
You're welcome. Who's next, Lisa?
All right, number 4 for this brand new year. If I can scroll down. We have so many people, I have to keep scrolling back and forth. Theo, can you unmute yourself?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Nice to meet
Hi,
you.
my name is Theo. I'm a Gemini from New Jersey. I'm grateful for my health. I haven't felt better. It's been good. My health and the health of my family and my newborn baby.
Awesome. So before you go on, let's take a look. You already heard what I said about the mutable signs before. As a Gemini, you are a mutable sign. So what I said about Virgo and Sag and Pisces also applies to Gemini. Okay. Gemini, though, in this chart happens to occupy the 10th house position. Half of the sign is in the 10th house, half of the sign is in the 9th house. The 9th house is about moves, shift, travel, things like working on the internet. The 10th house is about your career. So it would not surprise me at all if your questions are career oriented, travel oriented, maybe talking about making a move, and also about the family, because this is the family axis and this is the travel axis. Okay. What's your question?
Okay, so my question is, I got an idea to design something, and that was about a year ago, and nothing has come. So my question is, should I start doing the research for the design, or will the prints be given to me?
I couldn't understand that last sentence.
Will the design prints be given to me, or do I have to do the research myself to design?
They're not going to be given to you. You have to do the research to design them.
Okay.
Don't you love it? Your guys are like, well, we gave you the idea. You have to do the work. Now, I also feel, you had this idea a year ago, and apparently you've been feeling like you're not up to the skill to be able to do the design for the prints, or it may be that there have been so many family issues that have erupted around you that you haven't been able to find the peace of mind and what's needed to do that. Okay. Bear in mind that sometimes your guides, you're going to love this one. Your guides are much smarter than you are. They're much wiser, and they see you know everything. They may know that you will have so much desire to do this that eventually you're going to carve out the time and the space and take charge and step back from these family issues that seem to go on and on and on, so that you can do the design work. Because you cannot do that design work if you have all of the people, both in the family and in your work, constantly grabbing at you and pulling at you and saying, fix this, do this, come here, we need you here. Does that sound like your life? Okay. And so, believe it or not, they're forcing you to take your own next step in evolution. Because none of that craziness, none of that chaos, hear this, is who you are, is it? So you've been getting pulled into everybody else's world. You've been being pulled into everybody else's vibration, and you've lost touch with your own. So your guides could give you those designs, but they're not going to give them to you until you find the time to really
Mhm.
apply yourself with that single-mindedness that you know you have, because that's what's going to bring you back into personal alignment where you can get on track. And then after you've done the research, that's when they'll help you with the designs.
Okay.
Does that all make sense to you?
Yes, it does.
Manipulative
I
guides aren't good.
yeah, I didn't make a move because I didn't want to put resistance in it. I was so excited about it. I'm like, if I start doing the research, I'm gonna have so much resistance. So I've been waiting for some sign whether to start doing the research or it will be given to me. So I keep asking every day, are you gonna give it to me or should I start my own research? And I've been asking that question and I haven't gotten an answer for a year until now. So
And let me explain something else. This is important too. Oh, it had to be maybe 9 or 10 years ago. My guide
mhm,
said to me, you have to learn marketing. And I said, what, are you kidding me? I'm a psychic. No, you have to learn marketing. So of course I'm thinking I need to learn marketing because I need to market my own business, right? And I learned a lot. What I
mhm,
didn't realize is that in taking all the marketing courses that I took, my guides were learning marketing in our 21st century world.
mhm,
Huh? And guess what?
okay,
All of a sudden, I began to attract a whole lot of clients like you who need business help and help with
mhm,
marketing and help getting their businesses started. And my guides have all this information because every course I took, even if I didn't understand it, they did.
okay,
Now, apply that to yourself. You're
mhm,
not just going to be doing the research for you. You're going to be doing the research for them because they're going to,
okay,
as you study, they're going to see things, understand things, build things, alter things, and make them work in today's world for today's market.
okay,
Yes. Yeah,
okay, okay.
this is
Now it makes sense.
excited for you. Very excited.
Okay, thank you.
Something else is going to come along too. I think that in doing all that work that you're going to be starting to focus on, which is for you, I think
Mhm,
all those family issues, all those little garbagey things that are happening at work and in the career, all of a sudden they're going to start to fall into place like nice little.
mhm,
It's all the chaos is going to get organized as soon
mhm,
as you get focused. I love it.
mhm,
Good luck to
okay.
you, and thank you
Thank
for
you.
the question.
Thank you.
And Lisa, I believe I have time for one more person.
Well, now is the time that I would start taking bribes. All right, the last person tonight is going to be Nancy C. Nancy,
Hi.
there you go.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
Oh, great, thank you. Yes, Nancy Cerniglia. I'm a Leo. I am incredibly grateful for my husband and my 3 children that are grown now, and I'm living in Louisville, Kentucky, and my husband's just been transferred at the age of 68, believe it or not, down to Florida with his work.
Oh yes, I love it. Welcome.
Yeah, so my question is, what do you see there? I mean, we're just going to be starting an entirely new life.
I love
And
what I see there is fabulous. You're going to love it. Okay. Um, first of all, and folks, please forgive me. I'm a New Yorker transplanted to Florida, but after being here for 35 years, I'm really a Floridian. Okay, and I read for people all over the world, and I know them pretty well. I have intimate, close relationships with people from many countries, many states, and I've got to tell you that right now, it's not a well-kept secret at all, but right now, with what's going on in our world, probably the best place on the planet to be is in Florida. Okay. Florida has left the pandemic behind. It's doing very well financially, economically. There are no left and rights. There's no people getting in each other's space. There's just people having different opinions, and that's fine. Everybody accepts everybody else. It's a really nice place to be, folks. Now, believe me, I'm not dissing any of your countries, and because they're all wonderful, really. All cultures are wonderful. And I'm not dissing any other state either. because all of those countries and different states from the United States, you're going to come back up out of this just like we did, and you'll be back in a state of health and wealth and wonder again. But right now at this time, let me tell you something. Your guides said that your husband at 68 years old has done so much wonderful stuff for the world, and so have you. You deserve a reward. And so they moved him to Florida so that he could be rewarded here. I've got to tell you, that's the only way I can see that. And yeah, a little bit of my personal prejudice is definitely coming in there. But my guides, I got to tell you, my guides are clapping like mad. They're loving this. They're loving the energy of it. And they're saying, you guys are going to do just wonderfully well here. Your husband is probably a little bit worried and concerned about it. You're the first fixed sign to call in this evening. Leo's a fixed sign. The other fixed signs are Taurus and Scorpio and Aquarius. And note that the sign that represents travel is Taurus, and there's the North Node, which talks about great, wonderful opportunities opening. And I think that, you know, he's going to have more opportunity to travel, not just to move to Florida, if he wants it or if you want it. It will represent more work for him probably because Saturn is down here in Aquarius. That's also a fixed sign. There will be, one of the things you're both concerned about is shifts and changes in the friends and the groups that you're comfortable with up there in Louisville, which is a beautiful place to live. And so, you know, you're worried, you're concerned about all that. And he's aware himself, I think, that uprooting you from your base of friends and from being close to the kids, he's more worried about you than he is about himself. I hope you're aware of that. I think you get a good guy there. He's also afraid that the change is going to be too much for you both at your age, okay? Now, on that note, I want to tell you that I have a aunt by marriage that married for the first time at 70 years old and had another marriage after that first husband died and is now 99 years old. So let's not talk about being 68 being too old to make a change, okay? Okay? For some people, life only begins at 70, okay? Just put that in the back of your mind. This is interesting for you because I think that the first part of the month is really going to be, or the first part of your move is really going to be about trying to cement relationships with the friends and the people up there and figuring out how you're going to be able to make connections when you move and all that. You are going to be able to maintain a lot of your friendships. I think a lot of your friends are going to end up being snowbirds, and who knows, some of them might even follow you down. You're also concerned about your oldest child. I don't know why you're not concerned about the others, but the oldest child, at least your husband is. My guides are saying that don't be concerned. That kid's going to do just fine, okay? Faced with a lot of issues right now that don't have anything to do with your move. They're just normal issues for the kid, okay? But that kid is going to be fine and will accommodate your move just fine. Who knows, might even follow you down, okay? Did that answer your question?
You're right on. He is the one that we're concerned about, and he is going to follow us down. And it's so wonderful to hear you say he's going to be fine. And absolutely, my husband and I are concerned about him. And it just gives me goosebumps to hear you say this is going to be a wonderful move.
Oh, it's going to be the best thing you ever did. It really is. You guys, I can't say it's not going to be a change. It's going to be a little bit of a shock to the system. I'm going to tell you one other thing too. Please be cautious financially when you first come down. Okay?
Okay.
You know, and this is so funny. I remember this when I first moved. Things down in Florida seemed so much less expensive than they were everywhere else. So, you know, it was really tempting to buy a house that was way more than we could afford, et cetera, et cetera. But here, the thing is, salaries aren't. So your husband might have gotten a step up in his salary with this move, but he might stay at that same salary rate for the next 10 years, you see? So that's the way Florida is. It's like once you're here, the money doesn't really come in. On the other hand, and I've got to share this with you folks, my guides are saying that this is going to be a golden year for everyone. And what they mean by that, I don't know, okay? Because there's so much being said about moving to the gold standard, literally with metal. There's so much being said about currencies being shifted and digital currencies and blah, 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 blah. It goes on and on. So I don't want to get into all the Details of that, you guys can go and research it on your own. But I want you to know my guides say this is going to be a golden year. And they don't mean married 50 years. They mean a golden year, so that we are, all of us, going to come out of this in a much better financial shape than we go into it. Okay?
That's wonderful. That's actually our biggest concern, honestly, because down in Florida, I mean, it seems as though everyone's moving down there at this moment. So,
And the ones who are moving to Florida are moving to Texas. So,
yes, yes.
yeah.
So, concerned to find a house, it's going to have to be quite a lot more expensive than we would want to be looking for. So,
Yeah. And I, right now, I mean, this is just chit chat. This isn't my guides anymore. But I have a friend who was working for a man who passed away and thought that she would continue to work for the family while the house sold. Well, the house never went on the market. They've got a bidding war between 3 different parties. The house never hit the market. The real estate just already had people, and so it never went onto the market. And the same gal has got 8 houses being built on her block. So I live in a small town. I live in Port Charlotte in Florida. And it's just absolutely amazing, the number of people that we always get a tremendous number of people in the winter months because we're a tourist state. But this year, you're not going home. You're coming and you're staying. And I do think a lot of it has to do with us being really the first state to open back up again. And I think Texas is probably close to where we're at, maybe a teeny bit behind because they're close to the border. And a lot of people are a little afraid of that. But they're building like that too. The thing is that this year, there are many, many states that are going to start opening back up again. And so I think that influx is happening now. And as the other states open back up, that's going to slow down. So Florida is probably going to have 5 times the number of people it had by this time next year. On the other hand, we also have a governor who is building the infrastructure. So I think you'll do okay. Financially, though, don't go too much more than you know you can afford because you could end up paying for it for a lot of years more than you want to.
okay, very good.
Yeah. And since it's just the 2 of you, you can downsize now. My guide is saying, you don't know you can, but you can.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. Yeah, we're getting rid of a lot of things now, and it feels good.
Yeah.
And I kind of like the idea of just keeping it simple.
Yeah. 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 You're going to have a great time down here. I think it's going to work beautifully for you. And I do see you being happy. I see you at a time in your life when you seem to need a lot of time to yourself. And I think when you first move down here, you're going to cherish that because you're going to have that space. It's going to give you an ability to get back in touch with yourself. And I think for a while you have lost that.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I appreciate this.
You're welcome. And folks, I want to thank everyone who's been on the call with me. I want to remind you, you stayed to the end. I really appreciate that. So do my guides. If you have a question that I didn't answer in the course of all this stuff we've talked about this evening, go ahead and email it to me. Remember, I do need to know your sun sign, and I need to know what you're grateful for, and I need to know your name. And you can email that either to the email right here on GoToMeeting, or you can email it to Lisa at lisasa.inc@aol.com, and she'll forward it to me. Either way is fine. Folks, remember, next Psychic Hour is February 27th. Put it on your calendar, and I'll see you then.
Andy?
Yep.
Sandy? Sorry, one more thing.
Yep.
They need to know that they have to have that in to us
By
by
9
9 p.m. Eastern tomorrow night.
Exactly. Yep. Thank you, Lisa. Good night, everybody. Love you much. Have a very happy Valentine's Day. Bye-bye.